Welcome back to Geeks Are Sexy. We are the Geek Lounge. I'm Adam.
And I'm Luis.
And today, on week 2 of our Halloween bonanza,
Sure.
we're going to talk about fear. But first, behind us, you'll notice this wonderful backdrop. That's from the film that opens this week by Guillermo del Toro called Crimson Peak.
Ooh, that looks awesome.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, of course I am. It's Guillermo del Toro. I love Guillermo del Toro.
The music, coincidentally, however, is not from Crimson Peak because the soundtrack's not available yet. But it is from Pan's Labyrinth, which is another Guillermo del Toro movie. So if you're not a fan of Guillermo del Toro,
Get yourself right.
go see a doctor.
Yeah, get yourself right.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
So fear.
Fear. I have it. You have it. Everyone has it.
Everyone does have it, yeah.
We're all blessed with fear. Of course, we all know what fear is. Yeah. Obviously, it's a response to something
external.
External, yeah. That could be that you could have had a traumatizing experience with or have seen that has traumatized you.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, like I said, we all have these fears. And a lot of studies have been done on fear. And if I could, I'd like to read one particular study.
Absolutely.
In 2005, there was a Gallup poll in the U.S. Gallup polls are a research company that does that stuff. And adolescents between the ages of 13 to 17 were asked what they fear most, and the top 10 answers were, and I think a lot of us have these fears: terrorist attacks, spiders.
We jumped from
it goes from terrorist attacks to
spiders?
spiders. Yeah,
Wow.
death.
Well, okay, that's for a teenager especially.
Being a failure, war, criminal or gang violence, being alone, the future, and nuclear war. I guess that didn't fall under regular war, but a nuclear war.
And what's interesting about all those, and this is something that came up with our research for today's show, is they all sort of violate one fundamental thing, and that's personal security. Yeah. I mean... So
yeah, external harm coming towards you. It's a natural response to be,
even if it's a spider,
to be scared. Oh God, I hate spiders. It's a natural response, obviously, to feel scared. It's one of the most important aspects to survival, basically.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
keeps you safe, right?
If you're scared,
the burner's hot, you're afraid of getting burnt, right?
I hope so, unless you're a sociopath or a weirdo.
Well, you could be a masochist.
That's true. I mean, it could be into that. So there's another study which is kind of in the same vein by an author who analyzed online queries involving the phrase fear of, with the assumption that people would go online and seek info on these issues that they were looking up, basically.
Yeah.
So, these vary from age. These aren't any particular age group. But the biggest ones that came up were flying.
A fear of flying?
A fear of flying, yeah. Okay. Heights.
Yeah. Same thing, kind of.
Clowns.
Yes.
Intimacy.
Yeah.
Death.
You're exposing a very personal part of yourself.
That's true. Death, which was on the other list.
Yeah.
Rejection.
Ties to intimacy.
Yeah. People, snakes, failure, and driving.
Driving? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I know Hugo Weaving, the actor, is actually not too fun driving, I guess.
No, that's right. Agent Smith. That's why he never drove anywhere in the Matrix.
Yeah.
He just kind of appeared in the Matrix. There was no car in the Matrix for him.
So, I mean, when you were a little, and I mean little, but your earliest memories, what was something that scared you?
Clowns?
Really?
Yes. Do you mean in the sense of just something
irrational fear? Just like, oh my God, get it away from me.
Irrational. Water. Deep water.
What?
Yeah, I was afraid of deep water, not going into I like going to the beach, but I never went swimming, I guess. Yeah.
Giant monsters actually scared me. Like, I had nightmares, legitimate nightmares about giant monsters trashing my neighborhood.
Well, part of the reason,
which is probably why I love Godzilla as an adult, but
well, that's part of the reason we talked about it last week, that I very much do not like sharks as much as I find them fascinating. And they're a big part of why I don't go into the ocean.
Well, how did your fear evolve, though? I mean, some of your earliest fears compared to, maybe, I don't know, teenager years compared to as an adult?
When I was a kid, I almost drowned once.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I fell out of a boat, and my dad had to pull me out, but I freaked out, obviously. I was probably too freaked to breathe. I was probably breathing all that water.
Yeah.
But I think that might have been where it started.
Okay.
Because, I mean, water's dark and murky, and you don't know what... And this was in a lake, by the way. And then I saw Jaws, and then that just escalated from there. And which is why now whenever we go to the beach, I always check and see how many shark attacks that beach has had before we go to the beach.
See, and that's interesting because, like, where yours has sort of progressed along the same line, mine has changed a lot through the years, but the amazing thing about it, at its base psychological levels, it hasn't changed at all. Like, my youngest memories were, like, fear of, obviously, giant monsters. I got a little older, it became more like the whole demonic ghost thing. And then as an adult, of course, and yes, I don't like the idea of ghosts, not that I've ever seen one, but it's the idea that, you know, if somebody breaks in your house, I can do something about that. You know what I mean?
If Godzilla breaks into your house?
Okay, that's different.
That's different.
But I can still do something about that. If a ghost is in your house, what can you do? You know what I mean? You can't touch it. You can't. So, but then as you get older, of course, your fears change again. And of course, you know, fear of being a parent, you know, fear of loss, things like that. But the amazing thing to me, and this is why I find it fascinating, is if, again, everything is still tied to a sense of personal security. Everything.
It just seems to go back to that. I mean, look at all this death, flying, heights. I mean, it's all your own personal safety.
Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting that the more I researched, the more I realized the external stimuli changes.
Yeah.
It changes, but the internal stuff.
The base stays pretty
still
much
all
the same.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Still all there.
Well, then, of course, then you get stuff like being afraid of failing and stuff like that.
Personal security, embarrassment.
Yeah. That's your ego,
Embarrassment.
though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
What is the weirdest thing that you would say that you're scared of?
The
besides
weirdest
giant monsters?
thing I'm afraid of?
Yeah.
God, I'm not even sure of that one.
Not like Maury
clowns,
stuff.
honestly,
Like, have you ever
clowns.
seen those Maury videos where like the people are scared of like mustard,
No.
pickles, and stuff like that?
Well, clowns, but here's the funny thing. I know people, and I think you're one of them, and I know
They're
a
generally
good friend of ours is also one of them. Like, they just hate all clowns. Like the clown from It, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, they hate that. That actually does not bother me. Monster clowns do not bother me, but if I see a legitimate person, a poor guy who probably trained to do this, dressed as a clown, that freaks me out.
Pagliacci scares you?
That freaks me out. Yeah. It's not the monster clowns. It's not. You know, Tim Curry as Pennywise. It's like a legitimate Shriner guy just trying to do something right for the world. That's the guy that scares me. So what about you?
That doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah, what's your weirdest thing?
Mine is more in that uncanny valley, which sometimes doesn't bother me as much. But
if you don't know what uncanny valley is, it's the idea that, like, let's say a mannequin or a puppet, the more human-like it is, but is not actually human, the more disturbing it tends to be. It's why some people don't like marionettes and don't like some of the human androids that Japan has been putting together. But anyway, go ahead.
which is like the human androids and like or C-3PO, which C-3PO is like just in that weird.
C-3PO is just in it a little bit.
Yeah.
R2's nowhere close.
No, because he doesn't look like. But mine is weird. I've told you about mine, and you were just like, "What?" It's computer generated simulations
That's
of It's weird. It's mostly of underwater animals and airplanes.
Yeah, I remember you saying like reenactments. So if you're watching the Discovery Channel,
Yeah, so I watch shows on the Discovery Channel about why planes go down, like what happened, and then they do a computer simulation, and the whole time I'm freaked out.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's pretty strange.
I watch like the Discovery Channel, and they show like I don't know, like the prehistoric shark or the megalodon like swimming near the water, and because that scenery, the background is just so dead.
Yeah.
And it seems so desolate, and it takes me to like a weird kind of like dark, fearful place. It's odd. I'm an odd person, I know.
Well,
yeah. Anyway, we would like to hear from you guys.
Yes,
if
absolutely.
If you want, you can go over to our Twitter at geek_lounge or our Facebook at the Geek Lounge and let us know what weird things scare you or what scares you in general.
Or even any details about fear that you'd like to share.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week for the next chapter.
See you later.
On Halloween.
Bye.
Bye.